everybody, this is Caitlin here, and welcome to Card Game Tuesday, the day where we talk about all things card game related, or so we did. In particular today, we're actually going to be discussing kind of like the nature of why I started calling this Card Game Tuesday, and the reason why really it's kind of devolved, or rather evolved, whatever way you want to look at it, into more like a Force of Will Tuesday, because obviously, if you were with my channel way back in when, which was like 2-3 years ago or something like that, depending on how long I've been running this channel, I used to cover more than just Force of Will for Card Game Tuesday. Previously, card games that I used to play were Weiss Schwarz, and for a brief spell I did play the My Little Pony CCG, and sometimes I would pick up like Pokemon, not like actual like booster box or whatever, but I would pick up some of the like kind of trainer box, well not the trainer boxes, I was picking up the kind of the was it the legendary event ones where it was like the different mythical Pokemon or whatever, and then they had their own pins and stuff, and I would open those, and it was with the ones with the generation packs, and like I would do little openings of that. But really, lately I've only really been covering Force of Will, and maybe some people would be like, why do you still call it Card Game Tuesday if you're only really covering Force of Will as a card game? Well, mainly I wanted to talk about why it was that I kind of dropped it down to only focusing on Force of Will for card games. So we'll start with MLP, I guess, because that's kind of the one I dropped first. So I played the MLP CCG for like a good couple of years. I think I played up until, I want to say up until the 5th or the 6th set. I'm pretty sure it was the 5th, if I'm remembering correctly. I might have been the 6th, but I played up until then. Starting off, it was actually kind of fun. Like some people would like rip on it and stuff, say, oh, it's, you know, My Little Pony or whatever, but the game mechanics were actually quite fun, and I personally did enjoy it. The only thing that happened was gradually it was just like, right, there's only like a couple of cards in this card game that are actually like worth playing. Like you could say that for like a lot of card games, in that in the grand scheme of things, most of the time, there are only like a select few cards that will actually see like competitive play and whatnot because of their worth or whatever, but half the time it was just like, right, I'm buying these booster boxes or whatever, but the problem is like half the time it's like I'm getting so much duds, or rather there's just so much like filler anyway in these card games, whatever, and it's just like I ended up with just piles and piles of cards that I was just like not doing anything with, because it was just like, you're really not going to see play at any point. And it was like piling up. And it got to the point where it was just like, I wasn't very happy with like my local scene or whatever. Not to do with like the card stories and that, but like I was having difficulties with like some of the other players and whatnot. I was just like, some of them I wasn't getting along with. Maybe some of them I didn't see eye to eye with. And it caused like a bit of discomfort in me, so that I didn't feel really comfortable playing. And literally that was the only place in my town that played that card game. So then I didn't feel very comfortable playing that game anymore, sadly. So then I was just like, you know what? I am not going to be focusing any more of my time on this game if like I don't feel happy playing it anymore. If I don't feel comfortable like with the people that I'm meant to be playing against, it's just like it's not fair. So I dropped out of that game. I pretty much sold all like my rares and my ultra rares and all that stuff. I think the only thing I kept was like a few select promo cards, because they kind of had like a little bit of what's the word? Value to me, not necessarily like value to other people, but like, so I still have a foil Octavia card signed by Ellie Monty, who you may know from YouTube and whatnot. I still have that card that I kept, and like a couple of like rares or whatever that I kept because I like the characters or the artwork or whatever. So I dropped out of that card game quite a while back, I would say. I mean, because those videos were quite early on in my channel, and quite swiftly you could probably see that kind of content stopped at some point. But the other one would be Weiss Schwarz. So Weiss Schwarz is a very difficult one to kind of talk about, because it's like, I like the card game. I still like the card game. The only issue is that the way that the card game is marketed and the way that it's structured. So obviously the idea of Weiss Schwarz is that you're playing with your favourite anime and whatnot. The only trouble is, there's not been any sets of any anime that I've enjoyed that have came out. So my two main decks that I have a Miku deck, because Miku is original, and I have a Madoka deck. So because I love Madoka Magica, I love Miku. I did have a Kill la Kill deck. You can probably remember way back, if any of you remember back then, I opened a box of Kill la Kill boosters and everything like that. The problem is that the very early on booster sets for Weiss Schwarz are severely underpowered compared to the newer stuff they brought out. Like when they brought out the Attack on Titan set, it was just that combo with like the Titan and all that stuff. It was just like you could not stop that thing. And Kill la Kill really didn't get a lot of good cards. I feel like because they were trying to focus on not spoiling the anime, because the anime hadn't been dubbed into English yet, or it was just being released in English, so clearly people hadn't caught up with it or anything like that. So I think excuse me, I'm a little bit choked up. I've got a bit of a cold, so my apologies after just like coughing and spluttering into this. But yeah, like people over in the UK and the Americas maybe hadn't caught up with the anime or whatever because they've maybe not seen the Japanese dub. So I think that's the reason why they felt like they couldn't print too many cards that were spoiler heavy, and that's maybe the reason why a lot of the cards in particular maybe didn't have like, say, the best of combos, or like the best synchronization between the colors, or the best kind of like trick mechanics and everything like that for that set. So I can see why maybe that set in particular would be quite underpowered. But then they kept bringing out sets that were like ridiculously increasing like power creep or whatever. So like you had the idols, you had the bloomin', what was it? They had, I'm pretty sure Konosuba has something like that as well. Also Log Horizon, pretty sure that one had like some pretty broke mechanics and everything like that, kind of combos and everything. So really the main reason I've not been playing Weiss Schwarz because there hasn't been a set that's come out that is featured an anime or anything like that I'm particularly interested in. My interest has been slightly piqued by the reveal of Persona 5. However, Persona 5, the English set anyway, has been delayed and delayed constantly. So I'm not too sure if Persona 5 will be enough to get me back into Weiss Schwarz. I mean, I would love to get back into Weiss Schwarz. It's just like, I do enjoy the mechanics of the card game. The only problem is that the way that booster boxes work for Weiss Schwarz, you're really not really guaranteed that you'll be able to make a deck out of it, because like, there's like, you know, there's 4 colors, but you don't really get a lot of booster packs in a booster box compared to, say, Force of Will or whatever. So it's like really hard to kind of build the deck out of just one box. You really need to get, well, they call them cartons, I think they call them cartons in Weiss Schwarz, but it's very difficult to actually build a deck just from like the one box, whatever. So it is kind of frustrating. So I'm not too sure. I'll maybe need to wait and see, maybe actually find out whether the cards have been translated into English at least, and they've been like shown up so I can actually read them and see whether it's worth playing, because I would love to play a Persona 5 deck, mainly because I love Persona 5, as any of you guys know. All the videos I've made talking about it and discussing it, and all the art that I've drawn for it and everything like that. So maybe it would tempt me back. The only other thing that also kind of like pushes me away from going back to Weiss Schwarz is that usually the tournaments at my locals for Weiss Schwarz are very early in the morning. They're like as soon as the store opens, Weiss Schwarz tournament is starting. And like, I like my Saturdays, and I like to have a long lie, and I like to sleep, because I now work late on a Saturday night, so I'm working from 4 till 10 on Saturdays. So that would mean that instead of getting a lie in so that I'm well slept or whatever for my shift, I would have to get up early, go all the way into town, play in the tournament, and hope I can get back home in time for work. So it doesn't really work out as well now, so that's really why I've kind of like dropped out of Weiss Schwarz. Maybe Persona 5 will get me back interested in that, but I'm not too sure. I'll maybe need to look into it a little bit. And that's mainly the reason why I'm focusing on Force of Will, because it's just kind of, it kind of peaked, it's like kind of slotted into like my kind of time frame now. It's like, hey, Tuesday is like my dedicated Force of Will day, usually for either videos or for going in and doing tournaments. I haven't been doing really any tournaments lately, aside from the pre-release and whatnot, mainly because I've been trying to save money, because this week is obviously Comic-Con, next week I'm going to be in Switzerland, I'm trying to save my money, and also I'm trying to put away some funds to upgrade and get myself a computer, like an actual proper working computer, because my laptop is like, I'm pretty sure it's nearly like 13 years old now or something, and literally it is like a struggle to do anything on that laptop. It's just horrendous. See, even just colouring things, it's just like an absolute pain, because it's just so slow, and I'm always scared that it's just going to explode, because sometimes it just makes that whirring sound, and then you're just like, oh, is it going to explode? But yeah, so I've been mainly, and obviously I dropped like some money to buy that box of Ancient Knights and whatever, so I am trying to save my money and whatnot, which is why I've not really been going to tournaments too often, and I haven't really been able to make any deck profiles yet, because I don't really have all the cards that I want, and I don't want to have to like proxy cards again for deck profiles. So there will hopefully be deck profiles coming out maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks, once maybe I get some cards that I'm looking for. I'm going to have a little look on Big Orbit to see if any of the stuff that I'm after is on sale or anything like that, because I was debating with myself about whether I should buy another box or whether I should just try and look for the things I'm personally looking for, because I feel like I'm chancing my luck there getting another box when I might not pull what I'm actually looking for. So I just figured, I bought my one box, I got the one box that I promised, I did the box opening and whatnot, so maybe I'll look online for the cards that I'm looking for. I also need to try and get Millennium Bond, or whatever it's called again, the promo that was meant to come in the box, but sadly UK peeps didn't get that promo, which was very, very sad. So Anyway, guys, that has been this video discussing really why this day in particular is more Forceful Tuesday than Card Game Tuesday. Do you guys think I should just call it Forceful Tuesday? I feel like I should keep it Card Game Tuesday just on the off chance that maybe we go back into Weichforts or some card game. I feel like I'm not picking anything up in the near future. Just there's been like little hints and jabs. People like, hey, maybe you should get into Pokemon. Maybe you should get into Final Fantasy CCG, and I'm just like, no. I mean, sometimes I like the art or the style and some of the promos of the Pokemon CCG. I don't think I could ever want to play it because, no offense to anyone who plays or whatever, but it's just like there's a lot of kids that play Pokemon CCG or TCG or rather what you want to call it, and I've not got the best patience for kids or whatever. It's like you know, sometimes I can right, it's fine, don't worry about it, but sometimes I'm just like, I think it's just mainly because of the environment that I've been brought up in as a only child. It's just like I don't really have a lot of patience for quite young, well, I'd say I don't really have the patience for really young children or whatever, but I am trying my best to get over it because I'm just like, right, I'm going to need to interact with children at some point or another in my life, so I need to try and get over this hurdle so that I can experience tranquility and find the aura or whatever nonsense inside me to be able to tolerate children. But yeah, mainly it's just the only Pokemon cards I keep are EV related ones, evolution ones. I have a whole page of evolution cards, so definitely not getting into those card games anytime soon. And yeah, I'm not really interested in Buddy Fight, Vanguard. Those are the only other major ones. Yu-Gi-Oh is also a major one now that I think about it, because I didn't discuss Yu-Gi-Oh. I actually used to play Yu-Gi-Oh a long time ago, back in my little childhood days. I'm making the video longer now after I was about to sign off, but I'll just squeeze this little tidbit in right here. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh back in the OG days of Toontown and Blue Eyes White Dragon and Harpy Ladies, and now I see the state Yu-Gi-Oh's in now, and it's just I am so glad I jumped off this train when I had the chance. There's no way I would get back into Yu-Gi-Oh now. It is just because I have a friend or whatever in our Force Will group, and he actively plays Yu-Gi-Oh, and when he just talks about things, I'm just I don't understand half of what you just said. That just makes no sense. What is this? Is what Yu-Gi-Oh has become? It's trying to keep in track with the anime. It's just too complicated. It's too complex. I can't understand it. But anyway, guys, that has been this. I was about to say brief discussion, but we've gone over the kind of time I was wanting to make this video. But I digress. I have been a little bit sick, guys, so I don't know if you can hear it in my throat there. Maybe that's why I've been a little bit delayed in making some videos and whatnot, so my apologies. Gonna try and play a little bit catch up here because I know I'm going on holiday next week, and it's just that we were just I need to try and record lots of videos, or at least record them for the schedule that I want to have in mind or whatever. So our next video will definitely be... It will be on Friday. Yes, Friday we'll have at least a speed color, and I think we'll have a review of some kind or another. And then this weekend is MCM, so expect to see some MCM vlogs, hopefully for Saturday and Sunday if I can get it edited in time. Fingers crossed and whatnot. So until next time, guys, I will see you all later.